All right, let me.
Good God, man.
Good lord. All right, let me check to see that we're still doing good. Let me see. 33% battery. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Wow. My life is in shambles. What's up, man? I feel like
Bro,
it's
you have
been a
no idea
while.
how much I just said that statement. It's all good, bro.
Bro, that was 30 minutes of unnecessary chaos. That's what that was.
Are we live? Are we good? Are the people here?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna double check right now, but I'm gonna go with yes because it has to work at this point.
Because we are one of God's favorites. It just makes things right when they're supposed to.
Yeah, I'm trying to find our page right now, but I'm struggling for some reason. Is it in what is it called?
Into the studio? At Into the Studio?
Oh, it's at. That's right. Mm, mm-mm. I don't want to pull my phone away. Can you check on your end?
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Go to the YouTube. Let's see. At Into the Studio. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go on our page because fuck that.
Yeah, I was gonna say just go to you. I usually just go to Instagram.
All right. We are live.
All right, that's good. Fucking. All right, let's go. Fucking ready. Turn up. Turn up. No, for
You
real
gotta
though.
force it.
Oh God. So, sorry for the delay for anyone who's waiting. Yeah, audio technical difficulties, and here we're here now. So,
Yeah, here. And I'm half naked because it's hot.
do you not have AC in your home?
Um, we have a high AC bill. That's what we have.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. When I was in LA, when we actually hung out, I was staying in a house that didn't have any AC. It was brutal
Jesus Christ.
in
Yeah,
LA
no, I
of all
can't.
places.
It was fucked up though. The studio's in the back house. The back house has like a wall unit,
Oh, those are
right?
clutch in that situation.
But the shit is so old it blows musty ass air into the room.
It's time
So
for
it's
a
like
new
when it's
one.
loud as fuck. So I can't record when it's going, and it just makes it humid. It doesn't make it cold. So that's like
Oh, that's a failure. That sucks. Yeah, dude, it's rough these days. It was literally just hailing before I got on the phone with you.
hailing.
Hailing, like marble-sized pieces of ice just destroying everything, just raining
Is
down.
it is it what's the weather like in Texas right now?
Right now, I
From where
mean,
you
right now it's 68 degrees and wet because it just thunderstormed forever. I actually didn't. So just to add insult to injury, because today's one of those days. I actually didn't have internet leading up to this either.
Oh, fun.
So like it was hailing, thunderstorming, my internet went out, and then when we hopped on the call, the audio was like nah. So that's how I know it's going to be a good session. But yeah, man, it's been good weather, honestly. So the whole week, the weather has been saying it's gonna rain, and then it doesn't.
Mhm.
And then now when I'm like, ah, cool, it's not gonna rain. I went outside to enjoy the weather, and it was like, so yeah, good stuff. But you don't know what that's like because you live in LA. What is rain, right?
Well, we just dealt with too much of it, but you're right.
Yeah, that's right. You guys, is it still raining? And is it monsooning there?
No, we've gone almost a week with no rain. Okay,
Well,
but
keep
like,
it up. Let's go for two.
don't say that, bro, because then it'll be 18 months.
And then it was the drought of 2023. No
But
more
I mean, it's
water.
like I can't complain because at the same time, like I do like being outside and shit, but I'm also I'm fucked up because like half of my genes are like avoid the heat, and then the other half is like avoid the cold. So it's like I just, so it's like I just prefer my favorite type of weather is where you get to choose. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it is like you can go outside in shorts and a shirt if you want, but you could also put on like a jacket and jeans and be cool. Like it,
that's a
you
vibe
know?
right there. It's like so. It's like a nice, cool 65 with a breeze. I think is that kind of weather.
Yeah, more like even honestly, like 70 is smooth. Like between 65 and 72 is probably perfect.
I like when it goes up and down. Like Texas does this thing, and I know LA does it too, where it'll start cool and like brisk in the morning. It's like 63, and then it'll like work its way up to
Right.
70, and then it'll come
Yeah.
back down in the evening, and it's just like yes.
What we do though, like you're right, that does happen, but more often than not, it's like you'll start at six. Like this morning, it was already hot. Like there was
Oh,
no.
I hate those.
I, I woke up as soon as I woke up, I felt the window. I could feel 85. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
It's currently hot. I just came from outside. It was still hot. I have shit to go do tonight. I'm wearing shorts. Like it's one of those days.
It's
But
is it officially summer or is it just a hot spring day?
I don't. I mean, it's like a hot. What is this? This is April. I wouldn't call it summer, bro. Like next month would be summer. Technically, I guess June is where we're really in summer. But I mean, I'm in school. I'm off May 5th. So if that's when summer is, then I guess.
Yeah, no, that is so. April showers bring May flowers. That sounds. I feel like that has something to do with spring and summer. Oh God. But yo, so your album today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow is just one song.
Oh, it's
Tomorrow is
Angels, the one song. Okay, that's right.
Angel is one song and accompanying music video. Um, Kind of a relatively big production, so I'm excited to get that one out into the world.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. That's is that the one where you I don't want to like leak anything. Am I supposed to keep my mouth shut about what it is?
Not necessarily. You can say certain things.
Well, is it the one where there's a bunch like you were in the I'll just say there was a stripper pole. That's not that one. That's a different
Yeah.
video.
Yes. No, that is Angel.
That is oh okay cool awesome. Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm excited because I remember us talking about this like a month or two ago.
on here or somewhere else?
I think it was on here. I don't know. I don't think we like I think it was pre like it was on here but pre like stream like before we hopped on the stream so I don't think
I got you.
anybody else
I,
like talked like I don't think we talked about like the whole production about what cuz I remember we talked about it but we didn't stream that cuz that was like
I got you. I got you.
yeah. But
I
no.
mean, we shot in February, so this one's I've had the song done since January. We shot in February. The song is not going to be on the album. It's going to be a standalone single. Then this past weekend, I shot two videos to two songs that are going to be on the album, not the album, as EP.
Mm,
Correction,
okay.
no album. Um, I don't. I have plans, but no album. That's just no album. You know
Yeah, I mean,
what I mean?
albums aren't really like a thing now, just because people. I mean, unless you have like 10 songs ready to go that are all high quality, it doesn't make sense to put out an album anymore.
And to me, what I've heard is if you put out an album, you're kind of defining the start of your professional career in a sense, as in terms of the numbers. And I don't want to put out an album until I can quantify like it being worthwhile. I don't mind putting out music, but saying debut Cloudy the Weatherman's debut studio album, like I don't want to do that until I'm gonna see something from it. You get what I mean?
I've seen that before. So one of my friends that's a DJ producer, like he was touring like across the world, still is, but he didn't actually release a full length like studio album until he's been at it for like 10 like actually been touring like he'd been at it for like 20 years but
Yeah,
actually been touring and like which blew my mind because like I thought it was like album and then everything else but it seems like you have to have a good foundation before you can even begin to think and then like you said if it kind of in that same sense foundationalizes who you are as an artist like that's your debut album like this is
right,
what
right. What I'm kind of doing now is like throwing different sounds at people. So like up till now, all the songs that I have out. they're all melodic. Um, they're different vibes, but there's a common theme in a lot of the songs. Put it that way. Um, I would include Angel within that common theme.
Yeah.
Maybe Cut Ties kind of breaks out of it a bit, but in general, it's like upbeat, kind of like not club music, but more just like chill, upbeat, energetic shit, right? Um, the shit that's gonna be on the EP, um, which comes out May 5th, Cinco de Mayo,
Nice.
is is different. Like I'm throwing different flavors at people. There's some stuff you've already heard, some stuff you haven't, but it's like um I put it together with the purpose of showing a different side of me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm honestly really excited for the videos that are going to be on that because there's 5 songs on it and 4 of them are going to have videos. Um, and they're all like vastly different from one another. So I'm kind of like in a phase right now where I can see I planned out the future in terms of my rollouts and music and content I want to drop for like up all the way through July. But I'm just kind of like nothing is out yet because I'm on the verge of releasing everything and still filming things. So it's like I don't want to speak too much on what I'm doing. I'm just like waiting to drop shit, you know?
Yeah, I find that when when you so it's scientifically, like when you say that something that you're trying to accomplish, your brain doesn't know the difference, and it like releases the dopamine and the same thing. It's almost as if you've achieved it. So that's why it
Exactly.
doesn't make sense. It's not smart to like go around saying all of your like goals that you're gonna achieve and all that, because you're literally just gonna like not do it.
Man's a genius. I'm saying like, and everybody does that shit too. I kind of knew that, but not literally. Like I didn't know the science behind it, but I knew the feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody in their mama does that shit because as soon as you have some cool shit, you want to brag, you want to talk about it. And like I've never really been for that because I always felt like I didn't do it yet. Why am I
That
discussing with the
well,
masses?
it also opens you up, and this is kind of like more of an energy thing, but it literally opens you up for like negative energy towards your goal. So like if you're trying to achieve this goal that requires a little bit of like more than you, let's say, like it requires more than just you, it requires the universe or whatever you want to say, and then you put it out there like I'm going to achieve this. Well, guess what? Your haters don't want you to succeed, so they're going to put everything they can into making sure that you don't succeed, whether it's physically stopping you or just putting that out there like fuck this guy, he's not going to succeed. Like I don't want people to try and pull me down, so I just like to work in silence and like put out there what I'm ready to. But I also think that there's
Yeah,
a fine
yeah.
line that people like you got to really like you got to put it out, but also like not be like we're saying like you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. Like okay, yeah, but do it, and then we'll talk about it once you've achieved it. Uh,
It's like on a good and kind of somber note at the same time. Um, the friend of mine that I made time kills about that recently passed away.
yeah.
Like a big switch in his life that made me really proud of him and just like brought us kind of closer was I knew him since ninth, 10th grade.
Okay.
Um, and we've always been tight. We always did music together. And I kind of like, but the thing is, I learned as a person, this is the negative side, which will turn into positive. I kind of learned to only trust what I see in a person from him. Because
Mm.
he was very like talky, talky, talky. I got this plan, I got that plan, I got this plan, I got that plan. Nothing's really changing in his life though. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I didn't like I did not like the guy for that or not give love to him. I was just like, okay, like you talk but don't do as much. That's cool. I don't have anything to do with that. Like we still tight, but I just noticed that within you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Fast forward last year September, he comes to my very first show ever. Super hype. Um, it was the jingle thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and he's literally like I had my girl at the time like they're recording for me. He damn near took more videos than her. Like he's hyping her up.
He
He's
was
behind the camera.
geeking,
Yeah,
bro. Yeah.
bro. He's literally like the homie. I told everybody he does music. They were like, no, this your hype man, right? Like he's there going crazy.
Hell yeah.
At the end of the night, he's like a little drunk and shit, right? He's like, "Bro, I'm so proud of you." Da, 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 da. And I look dead at him. I'm like, "I really love you, bro. I appreciate that. But if you take anything from all this love you giving me, start doing shit. Stop saying shit." Like I wanted to give him that because I felt a lot of praise. I didn't need him to give me any more praise. I wanted him
Right.
to something from it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to be the example. Like, look, like, don't just think that this is a time for like celebration. Like, this should be motivation for you to want to do all the stuff that you've talked about. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
this is available for you. That's immediately what I would have turned around and been like, look, like, I want you to have this, and if that's gonna happen, you have to do the work. Like, you can only talk about it so much, and then you really just have to pull the trigger. And that's like you being at the show. That's literally. I feel like some people who aren't an artist feel like you can just like choose to be an artist and then go perform at a venue the next day. It's not that easy. Like you have to get a booking and you have to build some sort of a brand
yeah.
and all that. And
You know what bothers me too? Like I don't, I absolutely, I'll never fault anybody for doing it. I see the point in it 1,000,000%. I cannot do the open mic shit. I can't do it because it like it's so draining as an artist. Like I already put a lot into producing what I produce in terms of content, in terms of music, in terms of everything else I do for gaining an audience.
yeah,
But if you want me to go like wait in a line to get up and perform, like I'm waiting in a line to hope people love me. Like I just don't. I don't know. It's there's something about that that just feels like too desperate to me. You know, like
it just yeah no it doesn't. So it almost commercializes your the or commodity. It turns your craft into a commodity. It makes what you do very like artificial or commercialized to where it's almost like cookie cutter. Like not that you're cookie cutter, but it almost makes you feel that way to where you're not really that important and you're not really like standing the opportunity to stand out. The what I think about when you talk about that is like American Idol. Like it's the same thing
I
in
feel
my
like
mind.
it's a cheap way on stage. That's what I feel like.
So there's a my like connection to that and what you're talking about. So open mics, I totally understand that, and I've seen that a lot with like comedians, which I think it makes a lot more sense for comedians. But I think the bigger thing
Yeah,
that I can connect it with is as a DJ. There's something called open decks, almost identical to an open mic. It literally is an opportunity for you to go up there and show like what you can do on stage. And
right.
like I understand it for people that are like just getting into it. Like if you've never played for a crowd before, dude, get up there and like see what it's like just so you have something to gauge your practice with and all that. But I feel like once you've made it to the level that we're at, and like not that we've made it at all, but it's just once you've honed into a level where you're like, no, I've got a brand, I've got a sound, I've got a style. Those kinds of things don't really make sense because it's not benefiting you. Like the odds of you making it off of a open mic night are pretty much slim to none. I feel
Yeah,
like
bro. It's
open,
not like
yeah,
all the A&R of your dreams is gonna be there. You know what
dude,
I
A
mean?
and R is doesn't even know that shit's there. The only people that are there are other people trying to make it.
Okay, all right, pause. That is the worst part to me, and not because like I respect everybody's game, but like it's the same thing that bothers me. It's in every world this bothers me. Like I'm in a lot of with school. Like I'm in this entrepreneurship world at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in college is like a startup owner, a startup founder, and the desperation kills me, bro. It's like they they fiend for your approval so bad that nobody really is like all the love is fake. Let's put it that way, because everybody feels like they're in your shoes, or they're like, oh, they want to support you because nobody supports them, and like I'll take your contact, and like, oh my god, like you're doing so much even if you're not doing shit. Like it's a lot of yes man energy
Well, it's a bunch of people
because
patting each other in the back and giving each other like handshakes and accolades for just like making the effort, which is I have nothing wrong with that, but it's like, what are we actually doing here? Like back to what I
it's a
was
lot of
saying.
it's like what you said about
It's just a
speaking on things before you do them. It's like it's a like that. It's the room is filled with that type of energy. Like, uh,
mm,
you know what I mean? Like
yep.
accolades for nothing.
Well, yeah, and so it's an encouraging environment for people that are just starting out, and it doesn't make any sense for anybody that has real life experience in that field to do. It just doesn't make any sense. Like if you've done your own show, it doesn't make any sense to do an open deck or open mic in your case. Like there's no reason for you to go and try and be in that environment because as we've talked about, it doesn't benefit us as an artist. And all it really
Right.
does is, if, for me, it paints a target on my back. Like it's like, oh well, now I know who my competition is. I'd rather just like be some dude that like plays his own shows instead of being like a local that's just trying to make it. Like I think we talked about this before about a locals mindset versus like a like just a non-locals mindset, in that if all you ever do is just try to play your local bar and local clubs and local shows and like try to
Right.
try to be like a hometown hero, which I know
Right.
we talked about, which is like a goal of yours, but that's it, not in this regard. I mean that's all you're trying to do is like I just want to play
Right.
at these shows and again that's fine, but I don't relate to that because like all it is a bar tab and a pat on the back.
Right.
And I that's not why I do music. Like I can make myself a drink and I can pat myself on the back. I don't need I don't need a promoter, a club promoter to do that for me. And that's the other thing too is I don't like at that level you don't get the respect you deserve as an artist. Um, because you're just starting out in the eyes of promoters at those kinds of events. Like no promoter's
Right.
going to an open mic night and being like, "I'm gonna find the next superstar." Like no, if this next superstar there, it's merely a coincidence that they just so happen to be there and not at another event. So
The thing to me is like with the hometown shit. I know for a fact the only reason I feel that way is because my hometown happens to be the hometown,
yeah, no,
the town.
you're in a totally different situation. People leave their hometown to come to your hometown.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like, if I was from anywhere else, I would not have this mentality. It's just like the only reason I want to do it here, it's like wanting to beat GTA with no cheat codes. You know?
That's a good analogy. I like that because I mean, so it's such a big undertaking because even though it's local, like it's just because your spawn point is LA doesn't mean that it's not like that it's a beginner level. Like it's there's 20 what 21 22 million people just in that area alone. Like that's a city in California. That's not California. That's like a city in California. That's like 5 miles
There's
wide.
25 million in us, and 20 of them do fucking music. 20
That's
million
see,
of them.
yeah, that's the thing. So like to be, that's not like me where I'm competing against like 30 DJs in Texas. I mean, there's more than that, but you know, I'm
Yeah.
literally, so the amount of DJs that play bass music that are at my skill level are like this many compared to the amount of rappers that are in LA. Like it's just it's like Mars to the sun. It's not even comparable. So I think hometown hero makes sense in your situation, but I think in situations for me especially, like I grew up in a town that my high school was also middle school, so it was 7 through 12 and there was 2200 kids. Period. That's it. My graduating class was 200 kids. That's it.
That's wild. Bro.
Right? So like it's all a matter of just perspective. And that's really where I think that people should start is start where you're like start with what you have with where you are. Like don't try to like go too big too soon. But I think that it's really easy to get comfortable, especially when you start getting really good, or at least
Yeah.
improving, to just get comfortable with being a local hero. Because I know of a handful of them that play every show here, and it's really cool. They get all the people like woo, but I'm like, man, go leave this town, then see what happens, and see if people
That's
care.
that's that's the thing. It's like, okay, I have a friend, right? We've talked about him before. I don't know if I've dropped his name, but we've definitely talked about him in good lights and in bad lights.
Yeah.
This guy, he's from here, but he's Thai, right?
Mm-hmm.
As in from Thailand,
Yeah.
and there's people that are from Thailand, and he he's not the easiest life, right? But nobody has an easy life, and his experience, he really dislikes Los Angeles because he feels like it's impossible. Everybody's fake, which everybody is, but he's like he feels because he's lived other places, right? He has like an extra distaste for LA just because he feels like he receives more love other places. I guess would be the best way to
Okay,
put
that makes sense.
it. And so he's now living in Thailand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's the type to um what's the best way to put this? Like he when he wants something, he doesn't necessarily think about anything else.
Mm.
So that thing kind of consumes his lifestyle, if you will.
So
And
yeah, I mean, if you're not able, if you become obsessive about anything, it starts to consume your life in all aspects. Like you're not able to be like, okay, I'm working on this goal, and then separate yourself from that. Like you wake up thinking about it. You're is that what you're saying? Like it's
yeah, and
all
but like
consuming.
the issue I think with this, and I'm like psychoanalyzing with. I've told him this, but I'm kind of like trying to articulate it. Um, is that he wants the lifestyle more than something for himself. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
oh hell yeah! So that's one thing that I've actually run into a lot with just producer DJs too, is that a lot of people will DM me because I have a good amount of followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll DM me and be like, hey, I really want to do this, that, and the other type of content, and I'll ask them why, and they're like, oh, I want more followers, and then I'll just keep asking like, why? Why do you want more followers? And they're like,
Uh,
so that and it usually ends there,
right.
which there's nothing wrong with that, but my point is that like if you only want more followers, more fame, more fortune, more money, even more money, like more money especially, I love that question of like, oh man, if I just made more money, okay, what would you do with it? Let's talk about that. Like if you're going to keep the same lifestyle you have, you don't need more money. Like let's be realistic, and you don't need more followers if you're not even making
Right.
content that's worth consuming by 100 people. Like if you can't manage $100, why would you get $100,000? My point is like if you're only doing it for that like external validation, that is an empty road, and you will almost always fail. Even if you make it, you'll still fail because you're not going to have everything that you think you're going to have at the end, because fame doesn't come with like fame, fortune, money, all that stuff. There's a price tag to it, and if that's all you care about, you'll probably cut corners, you'll probably backstab, you'll probably lie, cheat, steal, do what you have to do to make it,
Right.
because there's no other reason that you're doing it for except for those things. So to your point, if you're not doing it for yourself, if you're not doing it for a reason that fulfills you, whether it's like for the love of the craft, for like it means something to you, you're trying to prove something to your family, whatever it is, if there's no
Right.
internal reason, you're not gonna, I'm sorry, you're just not gonna make it. And if you do make it, you're gonna fall very fast because it's empty.
I don't disagree. And this is kind of like this is what I try and preach to him because I see he's more or less blowing up within the Thai rapper community, right?
That can be dangerous.
This is my point. And but I 100,000% see the value in that because that's so easily leverageable. Because you can say, look what I have to offer. Now allow me in this door.
Yep.
Right? Great. But if you get stuck saying, I'm the biggest fish in this pond and I'm not leaving this pond,
Mm.
that's kind of where you lose me. Like I feel like if you know if your fulfillment comes like you said fulfillment comes from others more than it comes from yourself, then you kind of lost the battle already, you know.
Yeah, it. I feel like that's the situation. It's almost like story like where the those, because I feel like I've been there, like, and that's kind of why I can say what I'm saying is like I've chased followers, I've chased like fame, if you will. I don't even like using that word, but I've chased external validation in many forms, and it just doesn't. You just end up even more upset than you were when you started. It's like drinking alcohol when you're depressed. Like in the moment you're like, yeah, and then at the end of it you're like, God, this is worse than when I started. So
Right.
it's
For sure.
it really does have to come from within, and I think that everybody can do that. You just have to find your why, and that's something that I think takes a lot of critical thinking. It takes a lot of failure. Like you got to fail a lot to find out like what you're good at and what you're not good at, and like
Mhm.
to find your way. Because there's a million ways that you can do it. It's just finding your way through it. And I think that not getting stuck on like, oh well, so and so did it this way, like Rooks did it this way, Cloudy did it this way. Like no, that's our
Yeah.
way. And I think what we've landed on this topic a few times is just like you have your
Yeah.
own path for a reason. Like follow it, and then
You.
like take the nuggets from that and learn.
I was talking to another friend of mine. Ooh, I gotta sneeze.
Do
Um,
it.
chill.
Stop it.
um, and the idea, like as I was talking to him, just kind of came to my head, and I never articulated it the way I did that time, but it made a lot of sense when I did. Um, you know, he and I kind of ruminated on this a bit and thought even deeper on it, but in the moment, this is what was discovered, said, etc. Basically, we're talking about like various ways to get money, like regular conversation, and then I'm kind of explaining why I find myself explaining why I'm going about things the way I'm going about things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of stop and I'm like, his name is Josh. I go, Josh, do you have anything in your life that you feel the need to express with something more than words, more than talking, or is talking enough for you?
Hmm.
And he goes, no, words are enough for me. I say, that's it. So Josh doesn't have the feeling that he needs to design anything.
Mm.
He wants to build. He's gotten the design. He doesn't need to create that. There's enough of people who've done that, and he can tweak it enough to where he can build something, and that makes him happy. So Josh gets, of the young people I know, he's one of the wealthiest,
Okay.
right? And that's purely because that's all he puts his time into, really, is that, and then like living life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I respect people like that so much, purely because like if you're doing it and you're happy with it, I respect that, because some people's passion, based on whatever your life has brought you to, is literally money. Like that can be a passion, and figuring out how to build whatever, how to make money, how to hustle, that can be a thing that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel the need to express yourself with something creative, if your form of expression is speech, and that's good enough for you, and then your passion is something more tangible, right? Go for it. There, don't try. But then a lot of those people, then they want like, that's how you get. That's why there's 500 new music videos on YouTube every day, because 500 people got some money and then decided that they wanted to be a little famous. So they like went to the studio, made a song, spent all that money on a video, and now put it out, and it looks great, but they have no talent, and now it's just out, and like, because they did it not because they wanted to do that for the passion, not because they had something behind it, because that structure has already been built by somebody with the passion, and they're doing that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it's like playing dress up, playing artist for the day. I don't know. It's like
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
it's an experience. It's kind of like I look at it like if you're a professional like scuba diver, and then you get these people on the cruise ship that come up and they're like, "I want to go scuba diving," and they're like, "Okay, I'll take you scuba diving,"
Right.
and they take you, and you're like, "That was amazing. I went to the biggest reef ever," and then we throw you in the ocean by yourself. You're gonna fucking drown.
Right. 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 This is my point. So it's like, and I told Josh, I'm like, I couldn't do what you do because if I took myself, oh, I've tried. Like if I devote myself to like making the money in the moment, to having a whole bunch of hustles, right? Something is missing within me,
Yeah, it's an empty pursuit. Like
right? And
you have
it's
money,
it,
but
music is the biggest thing there, but it like when I ruminated more on it, it was really like it came down to this. You have to figure out who you are. Who you are is what you love, and who you are defines what you are, right?
how much
So,
of how much of your past is that person though? Like isn't that a
well,
culmination? Like when you say you are what you love,
mhm.
how much of that is current versus your past? Because I feel like some of your past shapes who you are today, and that's part of the
I, I
expression.
I think all of your past shapes it. So like who you are as a soul, I think is the most important thing to figure out. Because then once you get that feeling, which honestly is based on like, in my opinion, who you are is based on the things that you can't stop thinking about. Because that's what defines love to me. So like you might do a shit ton of things, but throughout your life, the things that you can't stop thinking about are what you love. And I think people find that for whatever reason, there's a common theme within those things that comes from something we don't fully understand. Maybe it's circumstance. It probably is circumstance, but it comes to a point where you're going through life and you just know, you kind of feel what calls you and what doesn't necessarily feel the same, you know?
Damn.
Um
That's yeah. No, I'm like I'm thinking to myself and like I'm picturing it and it's so funny because that becomes you. Like that like as a producer or an artist in general, that becomes your sound or as an artist like that becomes your style or your whatever you want to call it. Like that what you're talking about, like that becomes the thing that everybody's trying to become. Like when people say to find yourself, it's literally just
right.
what you can't stop thinking about and do that.
And
Wow.
yeah, because okay, to me, because I like to have a grand understanding so I can apply it to these things down here.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have like an umbrella understanding, right? What I've deducted is that who I am is a designer, and I design realities I like, realities based on my passions. My passions come from my circumstances.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like it can go both ways though. Like you can develop passion through circumstance like that, or your passions will dictate your circumstances. Like because of music, I've been able to live a lifestyle that I want versus because I am around the club scene a lot, I'm a DJ. Like that.
Right,
It,
exactly. Yeah. I think it's like you get the picture. Like, okay, a passion of mine is recording music, is vocalizing. So from that, creating songs, for example, would be like the tangible representation of that passion.
mm-hmm.
And then everything comes with like that career and like making that thing, put it like this. In my head, I think of like my grand idea, right? Like, okay, I'm a designer. Cool. I know what I am, or know who I am. Now, knowing that, what do I want to be? Grandest idea. I want to be, the biggest rapper in the world. Okay, great. Now, my designer mindset, whatever you want to call it, pulls truths. This. I think this is kind of like defines why I am the way I am, because An architect can't build an elevator if he doesn't understand gravity. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like if you say no, I'm gonna build this elevator and it's gonna float.
Yeah, you have to understand how the rules work before you can break them.
Exactly, but they're breakable. You just have to figure out a way. You know what I mean? Like the elevator can go up. He just had to build the mechanism to pull it up.
Hmm.
So once you understand the truth, it becomes your friend, not your enemy. And I think that's the way I try to build things, and that's why I operate the way I do, because I take a thing, I'm like, I have this grand idea, this thing I want to do, whatever I want to create, and then I design that thing in my head, and then I take the truths and I organize like the blueprints to it. And that's when somebody like I know I'm not a builder at heart though. I would call Josh a builder.
Mm.
Josh is somebody who would take that idea once I put the blueprint together and say, done,
Yeah.
right? Me, I'm like, I enjoy what's up here more. I'm like the idea man. I call myself that before I understood what like the architect was.
Yeah.
Like I have all the ideas and I can kind of blueprint them because I understand the way things work. But then when it comes, I loved making jingle. I don't particularly love operating it, but I do it because I understand the bigger picture.
Mm.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
I mean, there's different aspects, and I feel like you can apply your architect style to different aspects of it, but then the aspects that don't apply to the architect, you also are doing just because you understand the bigger picture of the need there. But I feel like I can relate in the same way, whereas I am very like I don't understand things if you explain them to me always, but if I have to do it, then I get it. Like I literally, so perfect example
Mm.
there, I had to replace a water pipe in front of my house, and it simply like it, so there's this like thing that connects two pipes together, and all I had to do was slip it over one end and then slip it back the other way, but conceptually I couldn't figure out how to do it until I actually like got down there and like put the thing on and pulled it off and was like, wait a second, how's this? So yeah, I mean, same thing goes for when I started producing. I was like, wait, how does a compressor work? Well, the only way to know how it works is to just like use it and go through it. So yeah, I don't know what I was trying to relate there, but
I mean, it makes sense. It's like I think you probably come from the same cloth in that sense. It's like because
well,
I
like I like
again
to
I think
understand it. Like for that, that's what I was saying. Like you,
yeah,
I was
you need to
gonna
know the truth.
I was gonna ask you how much of that is how much of that is experimentation, like to find those truths. That's what I wanted to ask. Like where
Mm,
when you're because those truths aren't always apparent. You can't just like walk into a situation and be like, I know everything. Like
right.
you have to like for Jingle, I guarantee you there were moments where you're like, I don't know what's going on here.
Bro, I've pivoted 5 times.
Yeah, okay, so
But
exactly. So yeah, so there is a level of experimentation and trial and error. That's what I was trying to say. Trial and error. So
if you are okay, I had this conversation with my girlfriend, right? And it's something that like th- this is an off-camera topic, so I won't get super into it. But it's
okay.
something that she and I disagree with. Um, in that I know that one has to have ground experience to truly be able to speak on a thing and know what's the best way to go about it, right?
Versus theory, right? Like versus just
Versus
reading about it.
versus exactly. So okay. This is what I told her. I can share this. It's basically like if you've never if you've never done any drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you find yourself okay now, like you did it straight for the last week, right? And then your best friend finds out, knowing you've never done any drugs, and tells you, "Why the fuck are you doing cocaine? You don't have to be doing that. You're being weak," right?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I 1,000,000% agree with that. Take person B. Been doing drugs their whole life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Recovered from being a crack addict, recovered from being a heroin addict, recovered from XYZ. Now they smoke weed all the time, but it's just weed.
Mm-hmm.
And that same onlooker comes along and says, "You're being weak. You don't need weed to shut the fuck up.
Mm.
Shut up. You weren't there. You didn't see none of that. You didn't get none of that. I understand that the textbook says I don't need that. But let me live because I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
didn't live. We all there's gray area.
Well, it's perspective. Like what? Like so. I say this all the time when people are like, "That's expensive." I'm like, "To who?"
Right.
Like, or that's dangerous. I'm like, "To who?" Like, or that's irresponsible. I'm like, again, to who? To you, maybe, but like to me, maybe not. Like it's, and maybe to me, yes, and maybe to you, no. Like like everything is relative. But to I think your point is just until you've experienced like failure and going through things, you really can't speak on that subject in terms of like if you ever hit rock bottom, you can't really talk someone through recovery. I don't know. Like I don't think that you need to I don't think you need to like almost die an OD to like be able to walk someone through recovery. But like for me, like I can confidently tell you how to stop and work through anxiety and through addiction because I've been there. Like I literally took Xanax for fucking 14 years. So you're not going to tell me what addiction is like. And I've had people be like, "You don't know what addiction's like." And I'm like, "I'm not having this conversation because if you're trying to battle me about that, then I already know that you've never been through it because no addict is going to be like, "I'm a bigger addict than you." Like, no, dude, no.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
No, for real though, like it just, bro. I understand. I understand you fully. Has it stopped? I see my screen stopped.
Yeah, your screen stopped. What'd you do?
It's still coming through.
I hear you. There it is. All right. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. I think you just gotta like go through it, and I think that you have to. You just gotta go through life. You can't avoid it. You can't just theorize about it. You just have to do it. And I think that that's another thing that I've ran into with people is they're like, "Oh, I want to make content, but I don't know what to make." And I'm like, just make anything, man. Just film it. I think you're overthinking it.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I want to make
Like
music. Go make it, okay? Who cares? Just make it.
if you're afraid to fail, you will never be good.
There it is. There it is. Ding. All right, we can stop now. We hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I think you're frozen again. What's going on here? Let me refresh
I
this.
don't know. I just got like the force quit thing.
No.
I know.
Well, let me take that off. But anyway, how much time you got left? Do you have any time to work on this track?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if I can, fucking, people can see me, but yeah, I'm down.
Well, I'm gonna work on it while you figure that out. That is loud as shit. Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna put some hi hats on this track, but this is the track we were making last time. So I'm gonna do like a something like that. Yeah. Yeah. See. Yeah. And then we'll do like a snare. Yeah. That's good stuff.
All right, I should be back.
All right, let me turn you back on. Yeah, you're back. All right. Oh, wait. Yep, there you are. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to snare on this in a second. Yeah, I like that shuffle. All right, and then we'll put a snare. You going to any 420 events tonight?
Nah, fam. I'm straight on that one.
I feel like LA has a bunch of those where you can go like smoke
Oh
weed.
my god, bro. I'm getting. I don't. Okay, one, I don't smoke no more. So if I go outside, I'm just gonna get contact high.
Yeah.
And two, uh, no, I'm too. I just got too much shit going on. I
Yeah,
don't feel like
no,
it.
I feel you.
Do you know who Derek Theller is?
No, but it sounds familiar.
Uh,
Should I?
you see this?
It's a handsome man.
I'm saying. Apparently, he lives in my neighborhood.
Is
He's
he
a.
famous?
Let me see. He's an actor.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's a good snare. Snare sounds like shit. Yeah, put that in the wrong spot. Still in the wrong spot. Yeah. It's not a good enough snare. Snare sucks.
Oh, he's in like Marvel stuff. Okay.
Marvel?
My dad was just like, I just bumped into him on a walk. I was like, what the fuck?
Dads be doing shit like that, I swear.
I know, I swear to God. It's
My
like, all
dad's
right,
like,
cool.
oh, I'm sitting at the table of the person who owns fucking Boeing. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I was just walking around. I don't like that snare. But I also don't want to sit here and do the infamous snare search.
I like the second one.
This one?
Nah. That one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Good shit. Alright. What is this missing? I feel like it's missing something. That's dope, but what is it missing? Like
I
some.
feel like it could. What's up?
I was gonna say like some keys or some. I don't even know. Like.
You read my mind, bro. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
keys.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. Let me open up MIDI. And then. Actually, instruments, piano. I need to re-download a bunch of plugins. Let's go with this. I don't even know if this is gonna work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, buffering. To serum. That's not gonna work. That's not what I want to do at all. Oh, it did work. Dope. That's me fucking out. Hold on. Yeah. I just want to move this here. So I just want to